What's going on, everybody? I am Desmond Scott, and we are here with another episode of Shifts and Stories, a podcast dedicated to giving my clients a platform to talk about their shifts and the stories behind them. Today, I have beside me a long time friend. I am 33 now. And I've known her since I was 10, 11. And so that's
10 for sure, yeah.
20, let's just call it 23 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's a long time. And over the 23 years, I've seen her accomplish so many amazing things. I don't know them all, but she is a producer, a director, a NCAA recipient or something like that. What is it? What is it? Tell the people what it is.
NAACP Image Award nominee.
There we go.
Actor.
Actor, yeah, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one. And then my friend, man, Lord, thanks, man. What's happening?
What's up? How are you?
I cannot complain.
Look, you could just call it one thing: storytelling.
What is? She's a storyteller.
Yep, that's easy.
Storyteller. That is a lot. When I hear the word storyteller, I think about stories that get passed down, that don't really happen anymore,
Right.
Whether that be because people are dying off or the youth is not receptive of what's being passed down. Mm-hmm. So why would you use the word storyteller?
Well, because I think that's where the tradition began. Like, people will forever and ever and have always gathered around a village or a fire and talked about the stories that are happening in the community or in the village or the things that they imagine, hope for, stories of gods and being visited by ancestors and all kind of things.
Yeah.
And then also because as a director, I'm still responsible with telling the story. As a producer, I'm still responsible with servicing and telling the story. As an actor, I use my body, imagination, wit to tell the story. So,
yeah.
And as a writer, so it's one thing from different angles and it's storytelling.
I think that's great. One thing that you said that can segue into what this podcast is about is using my body as an actor, actress. What is proper?
Female actor. It's one thing, just like there's no lawyeress.
So I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
But I think it's a cultural, it's a cultural thing because once upon a time, say in Shakespeare's time, women weren't even allowed to be on stage.
Valid.
It was literally shunned upon to be as body and, just.
How they do Romeo and Juliet?
They had young boys play the women's parts. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah. Actually, that's how they did Romeo and Juliet, and which made, I think, at the time the audience laugh, and that's why Shakespeare has so many jokes in his.
Well, I'll be there. Oh, you studied, huh?
I did a little bit.
Yeah, we did Othello. Were you in my class?
When you did Othello in middle school?
No, senior year. AP English 4. Did you have Miss Whitted?
No, I had.
My class was popping.
Yeah.
I had everybody was in my class. Yeah. We did Othello.
Yeah. That's what's up.
That has nothing to do with nothing. But
but you understand.
Yeah. So you use your body as a actor, female actor.
Yep.
So let's talk about that because I don't think this story has the opportunity to be told often.
Yeah.
From a physical standpoint of what female actors have to endure to get ready for a role.
Yeah.
I mean, we see people like Michael B. Jordan, Hugh Jackman, people like that.
The Rock.
Yeah, you're right. Like who one already look a certain way, and so their body image allows them to play many roles, or they have to get ready for said role.
Right.
So let's just talk about that. Let's just dive right into it.
Please.
You know, tell us a story of a time where you had to get your physical into character.
Pretty much every character I approach, I come at it through a physical standpoint. I consider myself a physical actor. Like even as a thespian on stage, it's a full body, mind, body, spirit involvement. And so I will take like my last role, for example. I played Jenny Reeves in Lawman Bass Reeves.
Yeah.
And Jenny,
still streaming on Paramount Plus.
it's streaming on Paramount Plus, indeed. All 8 episodes available now. But yeah, so for Jenny, for example, we had to do what was called cowboy camp. But before you even, let's say this, before I approach the techniques of, say, a physical sport or a special skill, it is important to be able to have access to my body as an actor. And I think everybody can relate to finishing a workout and feeling really good and just feeling inside your body.
Yeah.
Like suddenly you're like, oh, I'm aware. Oh, it seems brighter in here. You know what I mean? Like I can connect with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I show up on set. I cannot afford to go to work without that level of activity in my brain, in my spirit, and connectedness in my physical self. And because that if I'm not connected to myself, then I'm not connected to the character. Then I'm not connected to you as the audience member, and you're not going to feel anything.
Yeah.
And so it's really important that I involve myself in a physical routine often. It's also important that I hydrate. I probably drink a gallon of water every day, like that I'm on set. Just so that I have access to my body, so that the information, the emotion, all of the character work that I did leading up can flow through and source, the spirit can flow, like everything can flow. And then you get to do things like special skills, which, like I said, brings us back to Jenny Reeves, Lawman Bass Reeves, where I had to know how to ride a wagon. And so I had to go to cowboy camp to learn how to ride a team of mules, like, you know, and drive them across a pasture. We had to be able to wield weapons, and we had like rifles. I had a very large rifle, and you got to be able to take the kickback on the rifle. Yep. So we have weapons training, and then also I ride horseback too. So let's just say after like 2 days of 6 hours worth of horseback riding, your body, you know, takes score.
Yeah, it's sore. So
that required all of that.
That's a lot. Right, and I don't think the audience has that kind of insight to what has to go into your preparation,
right,
to give them what they see.
Right.
And so for you to even prep for that, a conversation has to happen between client and trainer.
For sure.
It's like, hey, look, Desmond, coach, whatever, this is what we have coming up.
Yeah.
How do we prepare for that? So what preparation had to go into your body? What did training look like? What did you want to be? What version of yourself did you want to be before all of this training took place?
Well, I needed a couple of things. First, Jenny gives birth to, in our show, like 5 children.
Yeah.
I wanted her to have like a softer body, but at the same time, she's a farmer.
Yeah.
So she's literally behind a mule, using her hands, carrying large bales of hay, all kind of things that you just need to be prepared for. And I think that you just naturally get the cuts, like you get the Angela Bassett's, arms. So we needed that.
Yeah.
So that was important. And then also, like, I just think who she was and what she stood up against, whether it was a racist mob or
the little boy that liked her daughter.
Had to get him straight. You know what I mean? Like, Everybody loves that scene. But yes,
I
like,
said, don't you talk to that girl like that because hey,
because mama gonna get you.
every time.
It's yeah,
I
mama
didn't like
bear.
that. I didn't
Yeah,
like.
nobody
I didn't like.
liked
I didn't like that.
Jenny
about
did.
that
It was the
episode.
easiest scene to act.
Yeah, I
for
did
real.
not like that episode
Yeah.
about that part. Why are you treating that baby like that? All he do is want to like your daughter.
He was a little too fresh.
He was nice.
He was a little too fresh.
He was a nice little boy.
He was nice.
He reminded me of myself. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, it was okay. But again, we had to fight off wolves and little boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was important to have those attributes, but then also for her to be, I think, like strong in her spine. Like I'm pretty relaxed, you know what I mean? But the core was essential to be engaged so that she could be like large and stately and that matriarch of the show. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Matriarch of the family, of
Yeah.
the Bass Reese family.
So not just a physical component, as in going to the gym to do those activities, whether it be cardio or lifting weights, but nutrition is important as well.
Huge.
Tell them.
Well, we could just start with the fact that most shoot days are 14-hour days. You can begin and end there for real.
Yeah. Because
there is no opportunity where you walk on set and you're like, oh, I'm just having a bad day today. Your bad day is caught on camera. So there are no bad days. You know what I mean? So like you have to be well hydrated. You have to be well fed. When you're not, your eyes are not alive.
Yeah.
When you're not, your brain is not working in order to remember those 20 pages worth of dialogue. You know, like you have to take care of your instrument in the same way that like my body is my instrument. It's the same for a musician that plays a guitar or a saxophone or a piano. They condition the instrument, they clean it out, the insides, they make sure it's fine-tuned so that it plays the notes you want it to play. When it's showtime, same with the actor.
Yeah, so 14-hour days are long. You then take that 14-hour day and make it a 5-day work week.
Yes, sometimes 6.
I'm just trying to use easy math for me.
Okay, sure.
You know,
let's do the easy
stopped-
math.
I didn't do the same math you did. I stopped at pre-cap. So 15 plus 15 is 30, 60, 75 hours a week. And then you take that to however many months you guys are
6.
are shooting. That's a tremendous amount of time and stress on your body.
No doubt.
Which a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing in what I just said is schedule. How important is your fitness, nutrition, sleep, work, schedule, and how does it all work together? Because I want you to tell them, because there's somebody right now that's using schedule as an excuse on why I cannot do this.
I see. No, well, when there is no work without doing the work first, which is the body and taking care of it, then you don't have an opportunity for excuses. So I think you could just start with, don't give yourself an opportunity for excuse. You know, sometimes if it's 20 minutes before my pickup time, I'll make sure I'm in the gym and just running for 20 minutes. It opens up my lungs and gives me access to myself. So I think that schedule is important. Having a regular regimen is important. But if you can commit to what your minimum is that you will accept from yourself on a daily basis or a weekly basis, then I think that creates a routine. And then once you have that routine, then your body's just going to start craving it.
Yeah.
And then when you show up for yourself, you're going to be like, oh, I feel really good. And when you don't show up for yourself fully, your body's going to be like, really?
Yeah.
You want me to do all of this with no food? Or you want me to do all of this without having worked out? So schedule is key.
Yeah. So you started off that answer with your work. Your work can't get done if you don't do this work.
The work, yeah.
Some may rebuttal your response and say, well, you're getting paid to take care of your body.
Not necessarily. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not getting paid to take. I got kids. I got this and then third, and it could be seen as a valid excuse.
I see.
In which your life is not their life. But tell me the parallels. Why are they the same?
I totally understand saying looking at an actor and saying you're getting paid to do it. But I know plenty. And you could probably Google some that you're like, they're not taking care of their body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not, right?
Yeah.
They're not taking care. I mean, even the idea of a plant-based lifestyle, I took that from when Beyonce and Jay-Z, like, were plant-based. And I was like, Beyonce and Jay-Z's plant-based? They can afford steaks every night, you know? Like, why would they do that? But then you think about a world tour and you're like, oh, so the body can recover in the way that it needs to have maximum productivity. And I was like, all right, cool. I think I'm gonna try this plant-based thing. Shout out to Beyonce and Jay-Z. But, you know, that is all to say, I think there's the other side for me in anybody that is attempting to do something on a high level, whether it's parenting, whether it's being your best self for yourself, whether it is being a great partner. Whatever you want to do on a high level requires a certain amount of discipline, but it really requires you to feel your best, because when you're at your best, then you're in service of everything else at a high level, right? And so I happen to want to be in service of my acting career at a high level, but at the end of the day, when we take care of ourselves, we are in the best position to take care of our responsibilities.
Yeah.
And it's a mental health thing. It's a big mental health thing.
I think at the end of the day, it is an investment.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to be willing to reshape your mindset on what investment means to you.
Yeah.
And not only shucks, these go hand in hand, investment and delayed gratification.
Sure.
Right? Because if you're investing in something, that is not a immediate thing, and delayed gratification is also not an immediate thing. And so when it comes from a scheduling standpoint, whether it's for the list that you ran off, kids, spouse, work, you have to be invested in these three things to invest in yourself to be the best version for those three things. And I think, you know, it makes it easier that you may be getting paid for it. But I think as a client and as a person, you would do it regardless.
No doubt about
like
it.
If this wasn't your field, you would still invest in the time. Invest in the hard work, invest in all things health and wellness to ensure that you are the best version of yourself.
For sure, because it takes away a lot from me. And if I don't take care of myself, then I don't have time to be on the phone, you know, with family, or to get home as much, because I'm too busy trying to recover, you know? So yeah, it's important.
I like to end podcasts this way. And I think it is a question that requires one to go deep. If you could have or create the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, what would that look like? And what can I do to aid in that progression?
If I could create the best version of myself,
Mentally, physically,
mentally,
spiritually, and
emotionally, what would that look like? I think the best version of myself is one that has free access to her body, right? Like, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I am available to myself, available to my spiritual self, and available to my loved ones. I can't be that if I'm not well. I can't be that if I'm not present. I think working with you in particular, it's so funny because, like you said, 9-10, right? So I think back 9-10, and then I'm like, let's start where we started working side by side even then. Which was Durham Striders. And quite literally pushing myself to keep up with you, pushing myself to beat you on reps. Like, if he's going slow, I'm gonna beat him to the end. You know what I mean? Like, so that has been very significant, and I think has laid a foundation for the way in which I've moved along. And I think you say you watch me accomplish a lot, I've watched you accomplish a lot. So even in the space of fitness, even as we work remotely with each other, whether it's via the app or whether it is just seeing what you're doing, I still feel encouraged in that way. And then when I get to work with you when you're here in LA, then we get to have the opportunity to, to get in the gym and still be encouraged by each other's work and work ethic and commitment. And then, and I think the way in which you could help me be that best self overall is definitely coming in this next year. Like we got some things to do.
Brewing.
We got some things to do. So it'll be a thing as it relates to these projects that'll come through Visionary Village in this next year. So that I can continue to be all the things that I'm responsible with being.
Visionary Village is her company. Make sure you guys check her out. And with that being said, yet another episode of Shifts and Stories. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. What's going on, guys? Desmond Scott here. Again, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, hit me up on social media at Desmond L. Scott. And if you're interested in any transformation programs, the link is in the bio.